Hey, you guys, this is Susan reporting here from home. I just want to share something with you that there's a reason why God put that song in me. Green is what she sees all day and night. Green is for rebirth and rebuild. Green is for renew and restore our society. Green is for proactive love, Dove love. This song came to me while I lived on Dove Lane. First, it was the music, and then it was the fill in the blanks. Um, Years later, when I lived on Sage Avenue, I had a vision of this tree with 12 limbs. And there's several versions of this tree. One has the name of the apostles, and we all know that as above, so below. So the branches, if you turn it around, can be the roots. So if our root is in disorder, it is impossible for the branches to be in order. And this I learned while at the library in Ocean Springs, Mississippi. I was unemployed for a long time, and I was, just waiting for a job. And, while going through a divorce that took 5 years, my son Jacob was taken from me, and I couldn't move. I was told that if I moved, that I would lose my house on Dove Lane for abandonment of the home, and that if I moved with my son, I would be charged with kidnapping of my son. If I moved without Jacob, I would be charged with abandonment of my son. So I was stuck, and I was unemployed. And I was like, well, how do these people expect me to make money? At one point, I was arrested because they said that they were following orders from the computer, and they took all my fingerprints. And while at the police station in Ocean Springs, Mississippi, when they were taking my fingerprints, the police officers were laughing because they said they had never seen where the machine didn't want to take the fingerprints. They had to do it about 4 or 5 times because the fingerprints were not showing up on the machine. So they were laughing at me and asking me if I was an angel. When I went in the military years earlier, I was being asked a series of questions, before testing, just to see if I qualified to enter in the military. And one of the recruiters there asked me if I was an angel, if I had a halo, and he was looking for a halo. And I said, what is a halo? I did not know what the word halo was. I had never used that word before. I did not grow up reading the Bible, even though the Bible was gifted to me at the age of 16, almost 17, when I came to the United States for the first time to live permanently, by my godmother's mother. My godmother's mother and her husband Miguel, it was Mamita and Miguel, Eminem. I have had this vision of a K in the middle with an M, a 3, a W, and an E, and that vision becomes more and more clear, and it's like it's more and more clear, and it's so much information in this vision that it's overwhelming to decipher. So it has taken me years, but the more clear the vision, the more obvious it is what this is. We are the body. The vision of the Ezekiel is a creature with, on one side, the face of a lion. On the other side is the face of an ox. In the front is like the face of a human, and the back is the face of an eagle. And the creatures move, and then there's wheels within the wheels with eyes all over the creature and all over the wheels. And we are whole with God. We are the whole body when we come together. He's gathering his remnant. And the remnant are the believing men and women. When we believe that we are, we are. And so because we are the body, and there was this creature, and there were four of them, and but it's like a four-way mirror image, because see, when one creature moved, all of them moved at the same time. It's like a mirror image. It's as above, so below. And see, Jesus was crucified like this, on a cross. And Saint Andrew was crucified like this, but with the feet spread like on a cross, but it was the X. So really the X is a T, which is a plus sign, which means T. It's all in the ancient languages. X and T, in the plus sign, they're all the same. It's the last letter. In the Tav, the last letter for the Hebrew alphabet, it means also truth, and it's the T for all encompassing. But also the T and the S are which is a W, which is Shin. Letter Shin means fire, but it also means tooth for speech. And I'm not making this up. I will back up what I am saying. You see, I did not grow up in the Jewish community. I did not grow up, praying at home. But because of my godmother's mother, Mamita and Miguel, they helped with my nurturing and development as I was growing. And she said that Jesus was going to come to earth during my generation, and I believed it because she never lied. She would cry when she had to whoop me. She would whoop me when I needed it, when I deserved it, when I would hide from her. I would hide from her under the table, and I just enjoyed like listening to her hollering for me. It thrilled me because I was just a mischievous child. And even though she knew that I was being disobedient and I deserved a spanking, she would give me a choice between the one switch or the other switch, the brown or the pink. And I would choose, knowing how much each hurt differently, yet it hurt. But I knew that it would be okay. And she would cry with my cry because she had to whoop me. And I loved that woman, and I still love, and she's in me. I am the way I am because of her nurturing as I was growing and developing. So there is truth in that is nature and nurture. And just some people believe that God is psychological. And okay, so for those of you who think that God is psychological, it's beneficial. Just like yoga, meditation is beneficial. Just like martial arts is beneficial. Just like reading and writing is beneficial. It's therapeutic. So is God. God is the code and the cure. And He is circulation. He is like the water part of the blood that transports the cells, like the spirit part that transports is the vector transporting from where they are toward the heart to receive. So God is a God of oxygen and freedom and circulation, and the heart is that force that pulls us up. Without that pump or without the water, then we would cease to exist. So I went in the military, and I wanted to save lives because I didn't want to kill people. I wanted to go in the military to save lives. And I thought, if the enemy's coming at me, even though I was told that I was an expert in marksmanship, but it could have been the other left-handed airman hitting my target. It could have been. But I thought, I don't want to kill the enemy. I will just shoot the enemy on the foot, and that will keep him or her from coming at me. And then, because I'm a medical technician, I will just heal the enemy. So I believe that God wanted me to learn about anatomy and physiology and circulation and about war, and I ended up being a manager of an infertility clinic, and I learned about, the centrifuge, putting the sperm in the centrifuge to separate, the actual sperm from the liquid portion, so that we could just like inject the good stuff in the mommy and expedite pregnancy. And so there's a reason why God wanted me to learn about these things, so that I could explain to you how God is. We have been lifted. We have gone up, up, up into his heart. And because we are the body, and then we are the lion, and we are the ox, and we are the human face, the Benjamin, and we have an eagle in the back that lifts us with its wings forward. The eagles fly forward and up. Eagles are very powerful. They have these claws. And there's a reason why God wanted me to come to the United States of America, because in God we trust. And our eagle is holding the branches of an olive tree and is holding the arrows, because in the Bible it says that God is going to bend the bow, and he says, I will bend my bow, meaning Judah, to fill it with Ephraim. But a bow is also a branch, which is also a tree, and God has bent Judah, which is the original olive. He has bent it to fill it in, to engraft it with Ephraim, because he told Ezekiel, on one stick write to Judah and all of the Israelites associated with Judah, and in the other stick write for Joseph, which will be in the hand of Ephraim, and all of the Israelites associated with him. And we are the olive trees. We are the witnesses. And the lamp, which is the lamb, is inside with Benjamin. Because God says in Deuteronomy that Benjamin will be between his shoulders, the one he loves. So even if the government will be on our shoulders, don't worry, because God says, do not fear anyone but God himself. We are not to fear anyone but God himself, because God, he builds and he destroys to rebuild. And God does that. He scatters the disobedient children, and then he gathers them when it's time to gather for the harvest. You see. And so with Benjamin between his shoulders, between the lion and the ox, see, he says to Zion that he will give Zion horns and hooves. Yes. And see, the lion is the lion and the ox. It's all part of the body, and the eagle, and the face of the human, which is Benjamin. The last will be the first. You are the last to know that you have always been. You are the last to know that you have always been part of the body. And we are in his image.
See, Ezekiel said it was like the face of a human, but we, men and women, are created in his image. You see, Zerubbabel, he says to the mountain, okay, which is Zion, you know, who are you? You know, and Zerubbabel with Joshua, not without. See, with God, all is possible, not without. With God, all is possible. 1,000 years is like a day to God, and a day is like 1,000 years. We have been stubborn, born from the stub, the tree that was cut because of the disobedience happened a long time ago. And then a shoot comes out, and he bends that bow of Judah to fill it with Ephraim. And then these two, you know, will become one in the hand of God. Yes. And so we are, you know, we are the eagle and the ox becoming one. See, we between his shoulders, head, crown, you know, the head means crown, and that's where our mind, in the book of Deuteronomy, God says that the words of God will be in our minds and in our hearts. So between the shoulders is our chest, equals ark, equals covenant, equals ark, equals box, equals treasure, you know, equals heart, chest, fire, shin. We have gone from sin through shin into truth. And when we place our right hand on our chest and we pledge, I said, en el nombre de Jesus Cristo, when the truth was pulled out of me when I lived with Mr. and Mrs. Miller in 2018, in early 2018, I felt like I was going to have a heart attack, like I was going to die from, you know, from lack of exercise, from anxiety after what was happening with Alexander, and from, you know, I smoked for a little bit in my life, you know, not indoors, but I smoked, you know, and I was on birth control pills at one point, and I thought all of these things, you know, have cost me, and I'm going to die because, you know, my time has come. My father said, calm down. Lay down, calm down. And I laid there on this bed, and he said, open up your airway. And I remember, you know, when you learn CPR, you know, the ABCs, because it used to be ABC and now the order has changed, but, you know, ABC just makes sense, you know. And so I, like the chin tilt, you know, and it does not look very appealing, but I will show you. He said, you know, just you open up your airway. And then I felt like my heart was in my chest. And then I started seeing these little lights like fireflies. And then I started seeing this light, the light that was in front of me that started to grow, because that was the light that I was focusing on. That was the true light that I had chosen. It was like little fireflies, and then it started growing. And this light was brighter than the fire that I had seen days before. We had gone up, and we stood there in front of the fire that does not burn for a few minutes, and the Father said, finally you're here. And then this opening to the right opened up, and this opening was brighter than the fire that is he. That is the color of the light that I saw coming down to me and pull the truth out of me. It said, declare now. And I said, like it was, I made a most effort. Just like when we were going up, it was so dense, and it took a long time because of our inertia. Because of our inertia. And so as we started to approach that light, it became lighter and less dense. And so when this light came to me and pulled the truth, it took most effort. And I did not know what I was going to declare. And I declared, En el nombre de Jesús Cristo. And it was in my native tongue. And then I had my Bible to my left. My father said, turn on the light. I did not have the Bible, on Romans 11, 25 through 36 and all of Romans 12. My father told me I didn't have it marked on that. My father said, turn on the light, because it was nighttime now. When I laid down, it was still light. And when I woke up, it was dark. And so he said, turn on the light, open up your eyes and read, my daughter. This is your message to the churches. And so I opened up a random page and my father said, read. So I started to read in Spanish. And this is the message to the churches, that all of Israel will be saved. And so when Benjamin, the new humanity, we as a whole, see, the thing is, we have to put our hand on our chest, and we went up, to the right into his heart, and he into us. And when we put our hand to our chest, it's like that stone, we have to speak to the stone, to the rock. Speak to the rock. What are you? And then that stone placed in Zion is found by Zerubbabel. Zerubbabel, male. Zion, female. We are the body. We are the lion. We are the ox. We are the eagle. We are Zion. And we tell that mountain, what are you? And we find that stone, which is the capstone for the foundation, which Zerubbabel will finish it. It says so in the Bible. In Zechariah, it says Zerubbabel has found the capstone, and it's in his hand. And see, Zerubbabel, we are in him and he in us. Zerubbabel has found that stone, which is for the foundation of the temple, which temple is the body. And that stone is, that diamond is a square, which is the New Jerusalem descending. The mountain has to come down. We have been lifted. What looks like going up is also coming down to us. This is a blueprint for all cities in all nations. And we are getting married. This is our diamond. When we look at the diamond from the top, it's a circle. That's the table of truth and transparency. You see, and we have found the stone for the foundation of the temple in Zerubbabel, with Joshua, not without, with Joshua, will complete it. Complete means finished. Complete means whole. Complete means completed is done, finished. Finish means end. The end is a new beginning. We are the body. Zerubbabel, Benjamin, Zion. We are getting married. This is the capstone. This is a blueprint for all cities in all nations, and this is our plummet stone. There's a string, as above, so below. The measuring line. You'll see it. I see it.